continue with our class Kosher Kitchen, and this session and all of them should be dedicated to Rifash Lema, our dear Rabbi Yaron Ruenschlita, his name is Yaron Ben Doris, also to Yehudis Bas Noach, Ariela Ora Bas Anna, Mimera Sirachel Bas Brandel, David Shlomo Ben Sandra, Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina, quick release of Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina, he's healthy, Baruch HaShem. And Atzlacha Rabbah to our dear friends Geveres Chana, Bas Abraham Avinu, and the whole family. BeEzrat HaShem. Alright, so we continue today with our class Kosher Kitchen. And we're on the last chapter of this book, Baruch HaShem, chapter 19. Right, chapter 19. So now we give all of this summary utensil by utensil. And we're on letter I. Next one, ice cream scooper. Ice cream scooper should not be used to serve chopped liver unless it is reserved for that use. A scooper may be difficult to clean, and one must be concerned that it will not be cleaned properly between the uses. Punctualist individual would avoid using any dairy utensil, even for a cold meat, use, or the reverse. A metal ice cream scooper requires tevilah. So let's do from the beginning. Ice cream scooper. So a scooper is scooper, right. For what else you can use scooper? I don't know. Have this thing to make falafel. Right. It's very interesting, right? So for this scooper, so technically it's like it's only utensil. Usually they use it for ice cream, right? If they serve this, I never heard somebody use it for chopped liver. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the chopped liver. Usually the chopped liver they spread on a piece of bread. Right, it's a lot of cholesterol in there. It's very unhealthy food, but okay. So, but very delicious, very delicious. Okay. All right. So 1 second. So, meaning technically, there is no transfer of taste, right? As we said before, the transfer of taste goes through the medium of heat. Right, heat or through the liquid if it was soaked, but in this case it was not soaked. There is no liquid. So technically, and let's say if person washed it with warm water. I mean, it does not say that, but look, we're on the page 498. By now we should know, right? With warm water, not hot, not above yad salad both. So technically, if you like. If you think about it, you can use one for ice cream and chopped liver, but very not recommended. Right? Why? Because it's hard to clean. So again, the ice cream scooper should not be used to serve chopped liver. I'm not sure what, like maybe to make it like more presentable on a plate or this chopped liver. I'm not sure. That's the way I understand. Okay. Right. A scooper may be difficult to clean. Right, and one must be concerned that it will not be cleaned properly between the uses. Okay, so I mean these things is very inexpensive, right? So maybe in the olden days, right, it was like some concern, but today it's so inexpensive, like, and plus just buy the ones with different handles, or as we always say, just spray paint the thing, and that's it. Right, and you can buy two the same. They mostly come, I think, with a black handle. I think, right. So the paint one with a red handle, no problem. Punctualist individuals should avoid using any dairy utensil, even for cold meat. Use or reverse. So of course, I mean, as we always say, never ever use for one. But technically, like after the fact, there is no problem. There is no problem. Right, but we try to avoid it as much as possible. Okay, so of course, since it touches, since it is metal, I think it's aluminum. Of course, it could be different metal, but mostly aluminum, I think. Right, and it's metal, so it requires tevilah. I think with bracha. It does not say here, but that's how I understand. Because it touches there, right? It touches the food itself. Okay, so next one, instant hot water dispenser. When using a hot water dispenser, when using a hot water dispenser to make dairy food, for example, cocoa or hot cereal, okay, one should be careful not to hold the cup or the bowl close to the spout, since the hot dairy steam condensing on a spout and leaves dairy residue. It is questionable whether one can use the hot water device or urn in a workplace if it is used for non-kosher foods and drinks. One should seek halakhic guidance. I actually spoke about it, right? When I just realized when I in my office, I thought that everybody would use this hot water dispenser only for what is it, for tea or instant coffee, right? Some people like their personal coffee. It's like, oh, there is no problem. But then I saw people making these instant soups, right, which is not kosher. So that, of course, was a problem. So I stopped using that dispenser. Okay, no problem. So again, instant hot water dispenser, right? Or if you hold like a low enough, right? So that's another solution. But let's see. I'm using hot water dispenser to make dairy food, right? Or for example, cocoa or hot cereal. One should be careful not to hold the cup. So I mean, how like this cereal, how you make it. So you put this from packets, right? They have in individual packs. You put this pack into your cup, and then you hold the cup, and you get the hot water, right? So, and it's like since the water is very hot, there is going to be like evaporation, right? And it's going to get up to the spout, which is a problem, right? Problem, right? That it's next time you want to do it for something else. So you, in a sense, like you're drinking milk. Okay. Since the hot dairy spout, hot dairy steam condenses on a spout and leaves dairy residue. It's guarantee, or like same with non-kosher food. Okay. Usually people don't do it with meat, right? It's only with dairy. Okay. It is questionable whether one can use the hot water device or urn in a workplace, right? If it's used for non-kosher food and drinks, most likely. So right, there are only a few companies that make like hot chocolate or the cocoa kosher. Others, majority of them are not kosher. So in my company, that's what they order somehow are not kosher. Okay, no problem. So no problem. Okay, so one should seek rabbinic guidance. Rabbinic guidance. I mean, if you want, you can wipe with something, with alcohol or something, right? The spout, if you're first person to use, for example, after it stood the whole night, right? So technically, and you hold it like down below, like lower it, so it's not it's going to be no evaporation. So meaning they're very afraid that evaporation from our cup is going to reach the spout and ignite again this evaporation, the residue that was there left before, and they're going to fall back to our cup. That's this thing. That's the issue. So next one is a juicer. A juicer may be used to squeeze juices for both meat and dairy meals. I'm not sure what is the problem. A juicer with the metal parts requires tivula with bracha. So again, the juicer may be used to squeeze juices for both meat and dairy meals. I think when they say in juicer, it's like an old style, like a hand juicer, Okay, we have this for lemons, like to squeeze lemon to make juice. I mean, but the same we have for others, like for oranges. Right? I'm not sure why somebody would have think otherwise. I'm not sure, but just in case, he said there is no problem. Okay, so I mean there is no touching meat or dairy product, right? You pour into cup, right? Even if you pour like from this juicer, if you pour into your meat cup or dairy cup, it's it's cold, nothing is going to happen. Okay, right? Juicer metal parts should LevLeib is bracha. Okay, no problem. Right, so for sure it touches the food, right? So that's metal, for sure metal. LevLeib is bracha. So next one, ketchup and mustard. It is commendable to use separate ketchup and mustard containers for meat and dairy meals. Ketchup and mustard. One who wishes to use only one container should use squeeze type containers. Glass jars or the spoon used with them are more likely to touch the plate and thus touch the food or gravy on a plate. Okay, so that's it. So let's try to overview. So ketchup and mustard. Okay. It is commendable to use separate ketchup mustard containers. So container meaning jars. So if it's squeezable, it's a little different, right? But because there is no spoon, so the concern is that person is going to get a spoon like this mustard. I think mayonnaise is the same issue. I'm not sure what's the difference, right? So okay, but we got the idea, right? So meaning they're afraid that you're going to take from the jar with a spoon and you're going to let the spoon rest on your plate. So meaning in the process of eating, this spoon is going to come into contact with the meat and dairy. Okay, so we usually like leave the spoon in there. So on top of a jar. So we never put it in our plate. So right, so people eat and then right we will wash the spoon. That's it. So and technically, as we said before, you can use any spoon, any clean dry spoon. There is no problem. So be it dairy or meat. Right. So again, it is commendable to use separate ketchup or mustard containers for the meat and dairy meals. Again, if people eat so much, this must. One who wishes to use only one container should use squeezed top containers. So meaning the idea is no spoons. Glass jars. So and again, same idea. Don't squeeze it on something that is steaming hot. Also a problem, right? The steam is going to raise and reside on the top. Okay. Glass jars or the spoon used. Glass jars or the spoon used with them are more likely to touch the plate and thus touch the food or a gravy in the plate. So I mean, so if you leave the spoon in there in the container, there is no problem. But if you have family members that not so organized and they forget, so yeah, just buy the squeeze type and that's it. Right, okay. But the squeeze type, if you think about it, they cost much more, sometimes 3 times more than the same amount from a jar. Right. So continue. Kettle. One may not use a dairy kettle to boil water to be used with the meat or boil water in the meat kettle with the water that to be used with coffee with milk. If gravy splatter onto the hot part of kettle or coffee urn, the kettle should not be used for coffee to be served with milk. Well, there are commentaries we're going to explain. If no other kettle is available, it may be used after 24 hours have passed. Preferably one should pour boiling water over the area of the splatter. See cholent pot regarding pouring water from the kettle into the cholent pot. Right. A stainless kettle requires tivila with bracha. Aluminum or emaled kettle requires tivila without bracha. On aluminum it doesn't say bracha. Okay. Okay, no, that's it. All right, so let's go back, and it's very, very practical. I mean, all of them are practical, but let's see from the beginning. One may not use daily kettle. I'm not sure why. How is it daily? I'm not sure. So usually it's part of. You just get the hot water and you use with whatever you want. I'm not sure, but that's what it says. I never heard before daily kettle. Okay, so again, one may not use the daily kettle. I'm not sure when they do that. They boil their milk, and now they decided to boil water. That's that's the only explanation I have. They usually have for boiling milk you have other pots. Okay. If one may not use the daily kettle to boil water, to use for meat, or boil the water in a meat kettle, if the water be used for coffee with milk. So it's right. So we said, I'm not sure, in the second chapter or third chapter of this book. So we said after the fact, if it was not intended, so technically you can use, it's like a parv. I remind you, we were talking about like a pasta. Right, somebody cooked this pasta, right, in a meat pot, and now he said, oh, let's eat it with cheese. Okay, so that's it. So if a person, like, it was his agenda, like intention, it would be forbidden. If not, so it is allowed after the fact. If gravy is splattered on the hot parv kettle or urn, I think we said even if it's only hot, like gravy was hot, not necessarily both of them were hot. But let's see. If gravy is splattered on a hot parv kettle or coffee urn, commentary 16, a splatter into the outer plastic surface of a palm urn is not problematic, since the water is boiled in the inner metal chamber, right, and does not come into contact with the outer surface. So there are the different urns. The old style, it's like what is it? This the stainless steel, and it was no insulation. Was it completely no insulation? Maybe like in old, like now, like I'm not sure when now started, but they put the insulation, right. It's from outside looks like stainless steel, but there is like a foam inside, like info for insulation, and then you have like insert. It's not removable, but there is insert, like also stainless steel. Okay, also it could be outside plastic. It's absolutely relevant. It does not even get hot. Right? Usually, I mean, you could get warm, but not hot. Right. So in this case, there is no problem that with the water, because we have insulation in between. But if we're talking about here that he's talking about like old style, that it's single wall. That's it. So single wall. So meaning that this thing would be very hard to touch, and very careful. If gravy splatter on a hot parv kettle or coffee urn, so kettle is more, I think, more practical example. The kettle should not be used for coffee, served with milk. Okay. Commentary. One should not boil the water in a ben yamo meat pot, even for coffee or tea, that is only to be served in daily cup without milk. If the water was boiled already, he may serve in a daily cup. So after the fact. So there is from one utensil to another. Okay. So again, one should not boil water in ben yamo meat pot. So meaning ben yamo, meaning it was used in a past 24 hours. So now it's clean, 100% clean. They boil water. Right, for coffee or tea, that is only be served in a daily cup without milk. So zero milk. So there is no milk. If milk is involved, that's understandable. But without milk, but it's dairy cup, so they say don't use it. If the water was boiled already, it may be served in a dairy cup. So after the fact, there is no problem. I think that's Ashkenazi custom. I think Sephardi custom they can do even initially. It's not after the fact. Okay. If no other kettle is available, right, it may be used after 24 hours have passed. So as we explained before, after 24 hours, the taste becomes pagum, meaning it spoils, and it's not exactly the same that taste that got absorbed. Okay. Right. Preferably one should, so it's not necessary, but it's preferable. One should pour boiling water over the area of the splatter. Okay. So, but after the pouring boiling water, usually like I would say rinse it also with a cold water, right? Because this boiling water would like extract the taste that what was absorbed. So now it's good to wash it with cold water, rinse it. And plus, I would recommend also, but according to all of the opinions, as we said before, if you wash it with what is it, with a soap, right? The dish soap, okay, would also work because it's for sure it's going to spoil any taste that was absorbed. See the cholent pot, right? Regarding pouring water from the kettle into the cholent pot. So cholent pot is very hot, it's steaming, so you have to do it from very high. I would recommend like don't be a big hero. So get yourself this was it meat cup, pour this water in the meat cup, and from meat cup just pour there. That's it. A stainless steel kettle requires tevila with bracha. Stainless steel kettle, right? Aluminum, so or glass. So today many of them are glass, right? So I have to tell. Aluminum an aluminum or enameled kettle, right? Required tevila without bracha. Okay. So or if it's electric one, so also as we said many times require bracha. Right, or you can disassemble it. So, but seriously, disassemble the whole unit and then assemble back. So, if you're not sure if you're going to assemble back, just buy online from the stores. There is a store. I'm not sure if they sell it online. It's called Amazing Savings. Right, they have it's in Muncie. It had it in Brooklyn, in Lakewood, I think, also all the Jewish neighborhoods. Amazing Savings. So they have it's a Jewish-owned stores, and they sell these things that will already like prepared by Jews. I think they should sell it online as well. Okay. So next one, Kiddush Cup. So we're on page 500. A Kiddush Cup may be used for a Kiddush in both meat and dairy meals. However, one must be careful not to wash the cup with the dishes of either type. The Kiddush cup required tevila. See Appendix A. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So a Kiddush cup may be used for Kiddush of both meal and meat and dairy meals. So usually all of our meals, whatever we have is meat. Right, but on the Shavuos, for example, this Shavuos day, many people have a dairy meal. People who cannot eat meat for whatever reason, they might have dairy meals. Right, there is no problem. But then it's not like it's not that the person is going to eat the same Kiddush cup for both. Right, but okay. First of all, he drinks like before that. So in this case, I would advise just pour enough wine to satisfy like a minimum requirement and drink it all. That's it. So now, if you want to drink this wine or grape juice, whatever you have during the meal, you just drink from different cups. So if it's a meat meal from meat glass or so, not whatever, the glass that you use for that meal, or if it's a dairy meal, right? So something the glass or something that you use with with a dairy milk. That's it. So and this cup is going to remain part forever. Okay. Don't need to wash with a hot, and that's it. With a hot dairy sponge or meat sponge, and that's it. Okay. So Kiddush Cup required tevilah. Of course, usually it's silver, right? Or silver plated. And see commentary. A cup may have been manufactured by Jews. Tevilah should be done without bracha. If if it was certainly manufactured by Jews, tevilah is not required. So right, so you can always ask people in a store. Would they know? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. So in this case, I would recommend when you go to do the tevilah. Do something that's for sure required. Right? You bought knife, or you bought something, or you koshered your teaspoon or something, right? So now you're going to say blessing on that one, and plus deep this Kiddush Cup. Most of them were done, were made by Jews because it's handmade. Most of them, but not all of them. If it's silver plated, I think they are done like by the factory, by the machine. I don't think it's like it is handmade. Okay. So maybe even in China. I have to check. So next one, kitchen. People often invest large sums of money to remodel and upgrade kitchen. First and primary consideration should be given to upgrading the Kashrus of Kitchen by installing separate ovens and sinks for meat and dairy. See oven, sink, right? So I mean the different different sections, and stovetop below. Okay, so we're going to get to it. If space is limited, installing separate sink takes preference over installing separate ovens. If one oven is to be used, a self-cleaning oven is a great advantage. Although not a vital, one should consider a possibility as separate stove tops as well. One should avoid glass or ceramic countertop surfaces. Glass or ceramic stovetop. I apologize. Stovetop surfaces. Okay, yeah, because it's you cannot caution them. They're going to crack. Kashrus implication should also be considered when choosing the stove hood. One should consult Rav before choosing the material for countertops. See countertop above. Right. One should preferably install stainless steel or granite sink, since this may be kosher for Pesach. Accidentally modern kitchen appliances, such as ranges, ovens, and refrigerators, present many problems for Shabbos observant. One should consult a Rav knowledgeable in these matters before purchasing any kitchen appliances. So, it's a lot of material here. Wow. So let me just check the time. Okay, so I think we can do this in stop. From the beginning, people often invest large sums of money into remodel the kitchen. So usually when the people remodel the kitchen, they invite I don't know, the professional, like tools online. You go to the store, they who sells the thing, and right, they can help you with design, but they care about what? They care about lights, and they care about sell you the more expensive cabinets, right? That you need some corner ones, like this one, that one, round ones, all these things, right? But the primary consideration should be given to upgrading Kashrus of the kitchen by installing. So now, if you're going to have all of the walls open, all the floor open, hopefully, right? So meaning now you can make a drainage pipe, put it like extend to another side, right? Water pipes, right. So it's okay. Primary consideration should be installing separate ovens, Kashrus kitchen by separate ovens and sinks for the meat and dairy. So meat and dairy. So now, like the most preferable thing is like divide kitchen in two, right? In a sense, and have one part is meat and one part is dairy, right? So where we live, it's like small apartments. There's nothing to divide basically. But somebody is living like in a bigger apartment, right? It's they have more room, and sometimes there is like a door in the middle of the kitchen, so through, right? So meaning from this part of the door is meat, and this part of the door is a dairy. So meaning like in a sense, even without building some kind of separation wall, so you already know what is what. Okay. Right. So oven and sink, right? It's preferable. See oven, sink, and right. So below. If space is limited, installing separate sink takes precedence over installing separate ovens, for sure. Right. Sink is yes, as we said. Is it possible to wash with one sink? Yeah, you can use what is it, dish pans, right? These plastic ones. Is it like for many years, all the generations like before us, that's how they wash the dishes, right? That's how they soak the dishes, and we're talking about them on Shabbos, right? On Shabbos, so you can prepare or sell like soapy water, right? And you can put your dishes in there. There is no problem. So because you need to store these dishes anyway, right? And it's anywhere, somewhere. So this is more organized. Like they're not going to smell it in the summer and this and that. So it's very good. So you can use this dish pans. Okay. So is it possible to live with one sink? Yes, it's possible. It's very inconvenient, but it's possible. So that's why he said two sinks. So if you cannot do two sinks in this way, so you can have a double sink. So second option is to have double sink. So double sink usually like it's not the size of two sinks. I mean, there is different designs, but usually it's one is bigger and one is smaller, right? So it's like a size of 1.5. So usually it's not a big deal to ask this contractor to make a bigger hole. There is no problem, right? They don't cost much more, like a little more, no problem. So that's the second best. But the preferable, one sink in this side, one sink in another side. Right. So if you have limited space, sink takes precedence. If one oven is to be used, right, the self-cleaning oven is a great advantage. So meaning, as we said, technically you can. It's not an ideal situation, but technically you can use one oven for meat and dairy, right? But you would need so if you're going to bake something in open like in open fashion, right? Broil something. So in this case, for sure, you would need to kosher between the uses. I mean, okay, so technically, is it possible? But as we always recommend, just buy yourself the small oven, like electric one, and that's it. Forget about it, right? It's the best solution. So wherever some people eat a lot of dairies, a little meat, and some people opposite. So whatever you choose, make your main oven is dairy, and small one is meat, or opposite. Right. I would not recommend to kosher in between the uses, but technically it's possible. Although not as vital, one should consider possibility to separate stove tops as well. So stove top, sometimes they come with a stove top only, right? Stove top without oven. So meaning like under the stove top you can have cabinet. So meaning I think it's deep of the like drawer, right? So it takes like space of the drawer, which is, I don't know, what is it, 4 inches, 5, 6 inches, whatever is it, right? And then you have cabinet. So it's if you can, yeah, have two different stove tops. Okay. but it's not necessary. It's not like such a big requirement. If person can, yeah, let them have it. Stove top as well. Okay, one should avoid glass or ceramic stove tops surface. Again, why? Because you cannot kosher them; they're going to crack. Kashrus implication should also be considered when choosing stove hood. I don't remember what we said about stove hood. I think it should not be very low, right? Because if it's very low and you're using the same stove top for meat and dairy, that's going to be a problem. One should also consult Rav before choosing material for countertops. So counter. So we said a stone is the best, basically. You can kosher it. Okay, for Pesach. So for Micah is some people say kosher, but we go by opinion it's not kosher. But okay, for Pesach. Okay. One should preferably install stainless or granite sink. As granite, I mean, I think it costs a lot of money. I don't know. Right. So stainless is it's almost indestructible, right? So I would recommend stainless, but somebody wants to go with granite, can go with granite. Okay, but the thing is with granite, the way I understand, this granite is very heavy, so you need a support from the bottom. Yeah, it looks cool maybe, but you're losing the space under the sink. And this stainless is very light. It can rest on top of your counter, and that's it. It's like it does not take too much space. So. Practically speaking. Okay. Right. So why this granite or stainless steel? It's you can kosher them for Pesach. Otherwise, you would need inserts. Okay. Incidentally, modern kitchen appliances have such as ranges, ovens, and refrigerators present many problems. So today, for Shabbos observance, there are many things that actually they're on the market, right? That for Shabbos observers. So I think if somebody's buying an apartment, so yeah, you can tell them I'm going to buy without appliances, or tell them, for example, in your apartment, tell what appliances you want. So many times it's exactly the same price, just different model, right? And there is some brands that almost all of the more high-end models, they come with a Shabbos mode. Okay. When we call it Shabbos mode, they have child protective mode, so the child cannot play with the buttons, something like that. Okay. One should consult Rav knowledgeable in these matters before purchasing any kitchen appliance. So this book was written a long time ago, right? So even if you don't buy this thing with the Shabbos mods, there is still possible. Right, as the rabbi, right, of course, as they say, or right, how to disable the things like a refrigerator or something for Shabbos, like in olden days, like it was simple. You have a bulb, you turn off the bulb, and that's it, or you remove it completely. That was simple. But today it's not so simple. Some of them have this LED light, and it's like built in, and you have to, in order to disable, you have to unscrew the whole thing. There is a switch. Sometimes even switch on the door. So in all the refrigerator we have switch on the door. So to the double tape, this masking tape, and it's good for Shabbos. One time. Like we said, look, it's a brand new tape. Why should we waste the tape? Let's leave it for the next Shabbos. And guess what happened? There's we do double tape, and one of them came off. Right? We almost had a heart attack. Since then, it was one time. So then we never ever used reuse the tape. Never ever. Right? Always fresh tape. Baruch HaShem. Right? So in olden ones, it's from 25 years ago, right? But more newer ones, there's electronic. You don't have this push button. So in this case, you have to use the magnet on top of the door, and you have to find the spot which turns off the light, and you have to use this magnet there. It does not have to be very powerful magnet, right? Powerful enough, not very powerful. Okay. So meaning that's about refrigerator. Other things like the stove. I'm not sure if somebody is going to use the stove, for example, if they want to store there before Shabbos, right? Something that's cooked and they want to store there and then open and remove the food so that the stove is off. Yeah, if you open the stove door, the light is going to go on. So we have to disable the light. If you have Shabbos mode, there is no problem. But if you don't have Shabbos mode, I think it's child's lock mode or something, because unfortunately children also go to the stoves, if you do not know. But if you did not know, so that's happened not once. Fortunately, they try to hide. They play hide and seek, and the good place to hide is the no one. Unfortunately, right? Or if we have simple stove, we say just disconnect this ignition, right? And that's it. So if you open the door, the stove door, there is no light. So the only concern is light. Okay. So, I mean, for many years, for many generations, we survived without Shabbos mode. Of course, Shabbos mode is very convenient, but there is ways out. But today, I mean, as I said before, the price-wise, it's not a big difference. Absolutely not. Long time ago, when we were looking into get something with Shabbos mode, it was almost 2.5 times more. Only G was producing it, and maybe somebody else, like only separate models, and like today, many of them do it. All right. So let's stop here.